Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 339. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. We're gray skies. Not much sunshine, some rain predicted for today. It's pretty chilly outside. I think it was low 40s when I went for my run. It's a chillier spring than what we experienced a few weeks ago, and so we're all kind of riding the waves of what nature is bringing to us. The good news is everything's turning green, so it's magical to watch. All right, I arrive here today with this sense that something important is going to be shifting for all of us collectively again, and then also that there's this flow of information or guidance or love that is wanting to move through me today in this space. And so we're going to begin with a song that I actually use. I'm going to read you the lyrics. I won't sing it. You don't want me to sing you songs, but I will read you the lyrics. This song I found 2 years ago, and I have been playing it often, very often, daily for quite a while, multiple times a day. I've been playing it for many of my work gatherings, and the vibration of the song is so pure and so beautiful, and it just naturally guides a group very easily and gently into this beautiful heart space. So I'm going to read you the lyrics, and I will put the link to it in the description. I really encourage you, if you haven't heard this song before, to please take a few moments and listen to it. You might even want to pause this and listen to the song and then come back, because it'll just help you to be able to receive the vibration of what I'm emitting today. The song is called Grace, and it's by a group called MC Yogi in East Forest. Here are the lyrics. Grace, take me to that higher place. Shine a light into the space so that I can see your face. I pray for grace. May we open up these gates. Grace, take me to that higher place. There's a beautiful moment in the middle of the song where it comes to a pause, and it's almost as if the drums are like a heartbeat, and you can just feel this pause, this breath, and then the same lyrics start up again. It is absolutely profound, the vibration in that piece of music, so please take time to listen to it. And for this podcast space, for the words, the precision of the words that I choose that allow this vibration to come through to you, I pray for grace. I pray for accuracy in how I translate what I am feeling in this moment. So we are, I would say, 2/3 of the way through in the U.S. What is our stay-at-home sort of buffer amount of time? We here in Ohio had 2 weeks, and then at the end of that 2 weeks there was a 1 month additional stay at home. So we are right now about 4 weeks into the 6 weeks of being at home. And I know as many listen to this from different places, or as this vibration continues to move out and people listen to this after the coronavirus quarantine has ended, the the vibration I am in right now, the feeling I'm experiencing right now, has a match whenever it is that you find yourself to this recording. And so I use these descriptions of what is happening currently because it offers context to the story, to the feeling that I'm sharing with you. Whenever you listen to it, that context of the story is still relevant for you. Just apply it to how it is playing out in your life, in the ways that you're having a match to this invitation for grace. Because the power of what is present in this audio is going to last for a very long time. And the story I share right now will match the story you are going to be in as you hear this. So if you are hearing this as you're in the quarantine with me, you're going to have many, many, many matches. So here is the feeling that I attempt to translate. When we started the quarantine here in the Midwest in Ohio, we believed 2 weeks was a really long time, and there was a lot of confusion and chaos as we all started to figure out what it actually meant and how that would impact us, and lots of stocking up and preparing, and what if this is doomsday, and then what happens, and how do we navigate it, and then by the time we arrived at the next expansion, where it went from 2 weeks to another month, many of us had sort of settled into, okay, something is going to be a little bit longer than we thought it would be. And so we're adjusting, we're easing into this next phase of it. This may take a little more time than we thought that it would. And so we sort of settled. And again, this is my filter, my perspective. So everyone is going to have their own version of quarantine and how they experienced it. This is mine. Also tapping into the collective. As we settled into that, there was an opportunity to become very aware of what is it that we are spending our time on? Where is it that we are putting our focus? And then being invited over and over again, is this where we most want to be putting our focus? Is this where we most want to be spending our time? And so we have been offered, individually, collectively, we've been offered choice after choice after choice in all these many moments for 4 weeks now here in Ohio. How do you want to experience this pause, this reset that is happening around the world? How do you want to experience it? And what do you choose to focus on? And so all of these many, 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 many choices have brought us to this exact moment that I am in right now. 2/3 of the way through what we believe is the amount of the most intense quarantine. I believe we'll have all sorts of phasing into some sort of new normal, but the intensity is, I believe, going to be this total of 6 weeks. And again, it's co-creation, so I could be wrong about all of that. As we sit here 4 weeks into the 6 weeks, we are being offered, and that is what this audio is transmitting to you. We are being offered an opportunity, again, a calling to your consciousness again. What is it that you are choosing to do with your time? What is it that you are choosing to create or to become aware of within yourself, to move through you and contribute back to the whole? What is it that your individual journey is calling you to see and to understand and to get greater clarity about? You and your journey, me and my journey. We are being, another filter is being removed, another layer of the veil is being removed to say, are you paying attention? You are 2/3 of the way through this. What is it that you are choosing to do? Be very aware, be very conscious of how you are spending your time, and make sure it's in the highest alignment for who you are and how you want to be living your life. because we still have this gift of 2 more weeks, at least, I'm assuming 2 more weeks, where the collective focus is still lasered on individual energy space. Everyone stay within their own individual energy space. Collectively, we still have this cocoon of time available to support whatever it is we are wanting to move through on our own in this journey, what we are wanting to understand more about ourselves. There's all this collective support saying, yes, focus on you, your health, your time, what you are doing, what you can contribute for yourself. Like, focus on that. Everyone stay home. Yes, we're all in this together. Everyone stay home. And I know as I say this, there are many who are working. There are many who are out of work. There are many who are servicing through healthcare. There are many who are sick. I understand there are many experiences of how we are all moving through this collective shift that we are calling coronavirus, COVID-19. I understand there are many experiences of it. What I share is through my filter. And what I tap into is what collectively is possible, which is we are entering sort of this squeeze now. If you imagine, like in a birth, the baby is in the birth canal and there's going to be this push soon to birth the baby out. We are in that push phase, that squeeze collectively into something new. On the other side of these next couple of weeks, we are going to be stepping back into collective spaces again, more and more and more and more. And as much as we ease ourselves into it, it's going to be quite an adjustment after 6 weeks for many people of being individually at home in their own space. And so there's going to be a bumpiness as we do that, just like when the baby is birthed out into the world and starts screaming like, what happened, right? What are these lights and sound, and it's cold? The baby is like, whoa, what happened to the warm cocoon that I was in of the mother? It's going to feel perhaps jarring to us, uncomfortable as we come out of this individual energy field that we've been gifted with. And so what are we going to do with these next 2 weeks? How do we allow ourselves the fullest potential of it? Because our choices in each moment are creating the reality we're experiencing. So at the beginning of this is what's so funny, I believe, about humans, is we often want the thing that we're not allowed to have, right? Just like when we were toddlers and your mother would tell you no, and that's what you're going to spend all your focus on then, is the thing you were told no for. You want the toy that you weren't allowed to have because mom said no, you couldn't have the toy. It's exactly like that for so many of us in the human body. We think we want the other thing. So when we're working all the time, we just wish that we were on vacation, or we wish we had more free time. When we're given the free time and told to stay home, for the first few weeks, we're like, no, we don't want to stay home. No, we want to go out. We want to see our friends. We want to do these things. What do you mean we have to stay home? Who are you to tell me what I have to do, right? We had to work through all of that. And then we had the choice of, can we go even deeper within? Can we see this as a gift? And that brings up all of our stuff to look at. Are we willing to receive such a precious gift? And how do we receive gifts, right? When, again, the example of the toddler, when a toddler is given a gift and it's something they really want, they'll play with it and love it and kiss all over the grandparents who gave it to them. When it's just a box of clothes, they don't really care. They throw it to the side. Boring, right? What we have been handed is the most beautiful clothing of silk, the most precious way to redress ourselves. Are we throwing it to the ground and saying, oh, it's just clothes, I'd rather have the toy, the shiny thing that distracts me? Can you feel the difference? There is a richness to this time, a soul deep richness to this time. And I don't know when, as a collective humanity, we will be gifted a richness of this level in this way again. And I don't say that to create fear or lack, or there isn't an abundance of a universe willing to give us all that we want. What I am honoring is the collective humanity all choosing to focus on the same thing at the same time. Yes, it's a virus, and also it's the most precious gift of time, of space, of awareness, of clarity, of connection in new ways. This gift is filled with a million other gifts hidden inside of it. It's like the Russian doll that my dad got when he used to travel a lot. And I know you've seen these little stackable dolls. He brought one back from his trip, and it was this big doll, maybe like 6 or 8 inches high, and then you would open it and inside was the next size smaller doll, and then in that another smaller size doll. So you would just keep unpacking, and then the littlest, tiniest one was like maybe the size of your pinky finger. That's what we are being offered as a collective humanity, all of us. Do you want to see what's in the next layer? Okay, take that doll apart and then look, there's more. Do you believe there's more inside? There is. Take that next doll apart and look inside of that. There's just this constant deepening into awareness and love and treasuring of who we each are individually. Our unique value, our unique contribution to the whole of all of humans who are alive at this time on this planet. And yet, if we believe that the outside layer is all that there is, and we just run around that figure and keep doing what we've been doing, and we don't pause to drop in deeper, we're missing the fact that there's another gift just waiting to be opened. So we have this gift. I bring you awareness of this gift, that there's still more time. There's still more time. There's always going to be more time, but there's still more time with this collective focus. At some point, humanity as a whole, and it may be those who've already moved through this intense period of quarantine shift ahead of us here in America, there are going to be those who will be saying, let's get back to business, let's get things back in operation again, let's get the world economy moving again. We can't keep doing this pause. And that revving up of the engine is going to draw momentum that will pull everybody back into the invitation of the old ways, the ways we have been in business, the ways we have been in connection and in relationship. That revving of the engine is going to get everybody else to want to rev their engine. And so we can very easily, as a humanity, slide back into the rat race again, doing it the way we've always done it. It will be very easy. So I say to you, here, now, in this moment, is that what you want? Be very conscious. Is that what you choose? Because you'll create exactly what you're choosing in each moment. You'll just ease back into what is familiar and known. If you sit in this pause with the gratitude that there's more gifts awaiting inside, and you unpack the next layer of the doll, you're going to be beautifully surprised with another doll inside of that. And then maybe there's one more doll inside of that. You'll just keep unpackaging these little dolls, and there's just more and more and more beauty and richness. And from all of those new surprising discoveries within you, a new reality can be birthed. You can create a different way of going back into what the old life looked like. You can go back to the exact same job, but if you go back differently, the job will be transformed for you. You can go back into the same community, but you will be different because you have transformed within you. And the more of us who are going back new into the old, that old cannot remain as it was. That old has to transform because there's so much new energy inside of it. And so we will get the world economy back in the groove again. We can get things moving again. But it will have to be in a new, more depth-filled way. Because so many of us are going back into that energy different. Sometimes the words just can't capture the feeling all the way. So what is spurring some of this for me? What is bringing a sense of urgency to this message, if that's the right word, is that let me rephrase that. The stars and the planets, the moon are all still doing their thing while humanity is sitting in this pause. And so as much as we as a species have said we're going to pause time, we're going to pause activity, we're not going to run around and do as much as we did, and we're going to focus on being healthy, the stars and the planets are still moving. And so there is a cycle completing. Our lunar cycle is completing. Our solar cycle is completing. We are moving from Aries to Taurus next week. We are also moving towards a new moon in Taurus next week. There's also all kinds of astrological conjunctions and, as I would say, contractions that are probably needing your reading time for information. A big one of which is Uranus, and there is an association in Uranus of surprises. Taurus energy is associated with the earth being grounded. So, not being an astrologer, I will not try to predict what this is going to look like next week. I will just share with you there is a collective energetic focus that is also beginning to shift, that is going to bump into the collective human focus and perhaps invite us to turn in new ways, perhaps guide us into new activities and new choices, even as we stay home. New moons, for me, always indicate new beginnings, new possibilities. I host new moon circles every month for that reason. I love bringing people together at a time where, in my opinion, it's like the stars, the sky is at its brightest because there are so many stars that are visible, and the moon is not shining so brightly that you can't see those stars. So in a new moon night, you don't actually see the moon. You see the stars. You see the potential. And so we are moving into a new moon next week in the sign of Taurus, which is about the earth. It's about our resources, how we choose to receive, exchange, nourish. There is so much potential awaiting us. There is so much astrological support for humans who are willing to tune into that, to remember that we come from the stars. We didn't come from this planet. This planet did not have a human species. We came from the stars to this planet. And those stars are inviting us. Remember who you are. Remember what you chose to contribute to this planet. You are in this incredibly sweet once in a, I don't even know, once in a planet's lifetime opportunity. Maybe this has happened many times on our planet. Once in a centennial, we'll just say it that way. Once in 100 years type of opportunity is happening right now. Can you tap back into the stardust that you are? Can you, what is it, the words of the song? Grace, take me to that higher place. Shine a light into the space so that I can see your face. I pray for grace. That's what we are being guided towards over the next week. In new moon in Taurus, can you bring the stardust down to the earth? Can you embody the fullness of who you are here to be? Or at least allow yourself the awareness of that. Who is this soul that sits in this human body, and why did this soul choose to come here? What is it that your soul, only your soul, could contribute here on earth at this time of the most magnificent creation? And how do you align with that? How do you begin moving in that direction, in that vibrational attuning? You begin by first feeling it within you, knowing what that grace feels like inside, embodying grace. And that takes stillness, it takes quiet, it takes this ability to listen in a way that when we were running around doing 25 million too many things, we couldn't tap into that. Now, here, it's all possible. This is the magic that we are seeing play out on technology when beautiful concerts are being offered from people's homes. I talked about this last week. Just the most funny, magical creations are being brought through to us. People improvising, celebrating life still, even through the limitations that we have imposed upon ourselves. So I pray for grace. I pray for grace to guide us over these next few days, the next few weeks, so that we truly tap into the highest possibilities. Yes, life is going to continue. Yes, we are eventually going to be perhaps back in very busy schedules if we choose. Yes, there will be a new form of normal that we all co-create together. The change agent, the difference is you, me, each one of us. What shifts within us inside? Do we receive this gift, unpackage it, open it up in all the millions of ways that we can, and become so clear on what our life experience, what we choose for our life experience to be from here on? If there were elements in our lives that we hated, couldn't stand, begrudged, resented every single moment, every single day, do we want to pick those back up and re-shoulder them again? Continue on with that old way? Or do we choose to show up differently? Do we choose to show up within ourselves differently? And then co-create new realities? Because it's totally possible. Yeah, there's such an intensity of energy that is moving through me, and I'm being very precise in how to translate it, because it doesn't feel like a disciplinarian or an authority. It doesn't feel like the image I have is of someone who has perhaps been in shock, and there's a friend who just loves them that's sort of looking at them and shaking their shoulders a little bit and going, it's okay, everything's okay, you're right here. Do you see that you're right here and that I'm right here with you? Wake up, everything's okay. I remember a few weeks ago, the one podcast, I felt like I said wake up, I don't even know, 50 times in the 1 hour, however long the podcast was. And I feel like that same message is wanting to come through again in this moment. We've been in shock because there has been a lot of shocking news delivered to us and many changes all at the same time. And there can be a feeling of trauma from moving through so much so fast. And so I sit here and I say to you, it's okay. Everything is okay. And yes, it looks like chaos and crisis around us, but it really isn't. It really isn't. This human journey on earth, it's always meant to be temporary. We are only here for a finite number of years. And so make the most of them. Make them extraordinary. Wake up that it doesn't have to be fear-based or overwhelm or confusion unless you choose to continue staying in that energy. You always have the choice of exhilaration, of connection, of love, of possibility, of potential. Perhaps one of the most powerful words, potential. There always exists inside of each one of us the potential for something new to be created and brought into form. If you are looking for guidance, I made a meditation at the beginning of this year, just like I do each year. And when I made it, I remember thinking, what am I saying? Like, what is this thing that's coming through me? And it was so cool. It's called Believe in Yourself. And it was this short meditation where I guide you back to remembering the moment you chose to come into this human form. When your soul said, I'm going down into that baby body, and that's the life I'm going to be living. That path right there is the one I choose. And I know all the options of what is possible, and I'm going to go that way into that storyline. And then honoring that if you made that choice, if you had that belief that it was all possible in the moment of conception, and again in the moment of birth, where you breathed that first breath of not human air, of oxygen, Gaia air, earth air, when you took that first breath, you believed that your life was beginning, or you couldn't have taken that breath. That's an individual soul human choice. Go back to that original belief. Tap into that, because your genetics were coded and so was your soul. Your soul knew in that first breath everything that you were choosing to contribute. And yes, we forget as we grow up and everyone tells us how we're supposed to be and act and do and blah, blah, blah. But it's in you. It's in me. It's in each one of us. We are being offered the gift right now to unpackage all the way back to that moment. Why are you here? Why are you here, and what incredible gifts do you have to share with all of humanity? When you allow yourself the awareness of some of those precious gifts, and I'll give you a clue, I would bet almost every one of us has the gift of presence, just being present with another, which we can do in any moment. You don't even have to be trained in it. You can just begin. When you start to unpackage and remember all of the gifts of who you are here to be, your life is going to be so full and so rich and so magical and so happy, because you're in complete alignment with your soul. So please don't miss this opportunity. There will always be opportunities in our human journey to touch this, to come back to this, to remember this. But right now, you have the added power of collective focus, all saying, do this, look at this, choose to be still, choose to stay home. Explore within and see what you can discover. It is like taking a battery and it's already full and then plugging it into the outlet and saying, you've got extra battery life. You can just keep playing and playing. You're not going to run out of battery. That's what this collective energy is adding to our focus. It's extra support. And you've got a little more time with that. You've also got the new moon astrologically supporting you to really dive in and begin something new. Uranus saying there might be a surprise when you look inside. What if the surprise is good? What if the surprise is you actually being able to see your soul? Feel your soul in a way you have never allowed yourself to do before. What if that's the gift that the stars give to you on this new moon? Don't be so busy that you miss that. So I'll finish as I started. Grace, take me to that higher place. Shine a light into this space so that I can see your face. I pray for grace. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.